Hello everyone, this is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today our guest is Juancamilo Ronderos, who will fight on Tough Enough 141 February 14th. Hello Juancamilo, how are you?
Very good, guys. How are you guys? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, my man. Can't wait to conversate with you.
And you will have another bout in just few weeks. It will be against Jose Sandoval in the promotion that you were really successful in. So if you
Yeah,
can tell me how your camp is going for now, and did you have any chance to watch any of fights of your opponent?
sure. I mean, fight camp is going great. There is no fight camp. I'm always in fight camp. I'm always ready to stay. That's how I was able to get into the UFC so fast because I was already ready. I don't like to take time off and then come back. I will rest a little bit, but I'm always in camp. I'm always ready to fight. I'll fight this weekend if I need to. Yeah, we did watch a little bit of his film. Nothing too crazy, nothing too out of this world. Just continue doing what I'm doing, not worry too much about what he needs to do. I'm just going to focus on what I need to do, and with that, we should get the dub.
And actually, he seems to be a quite solid fighter. He's 6-3. He got for submissions, but he never was finished. So maybe this will be like
Mhm.
opportunity for you to beat him.
Yeah, I saw that he hasn't been finished, which means he's tough, man. Anybody from Mexico is tough. Those aren't easy guys to take out. But everybody's tough until I'm in front of them, or until I tire you out, or until I'll submit you or outdo you. And the competition comparison is not the same. The competition he's faced versus what I faced or who I am is completely different. And I think that that's going to show here on February 14th.
And in your last fight, you showed that you are also a really dangerous fighter in the first round, because it's sometimes that the first round is good, and after this is more of the decision. And you showed
Right.
that definitely you can finish the opponent either like in the first or in the third round.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Just I want it more than anybody. So to me, my mindset, it's either you or me, and in my head, it's always going to be me. It's unfortunately somebody's dreams are gonna be crushed every time we fight each other, and I'm not gonna let mine be crushed at all.
Because you are training so much, do you have
Yeah.
sometimes like burnout, or the feelings
Mhm.
feeling that maybe this day I will skip the training because I'm just maybe don't feel to be really motivated?
Sure. Thankfully, I don't run off motivation. I just run off discipline and sacrifice. If I'm tired or too exhausted, instead of not going to practice, I will still go to practice. And instead of going 80%, I'll go maybe 60, 50%, or just slow it down a little bit. But there's no such thing as not going to the gym. I'm in here 9 a.m., 9 p.m. every single day because this is also my job, right? I'm also a coach and a trainer, besides an athlete. So I'm here 9 a.m., 9 p.m. every day. I do shower, eat in the middle of the day, and then go right back to work. So it's a lifestyle for me, right? It's not like a lot of other fighters that, they have to just come to train and then they go to their jobs and all the other stuff that I used to do back then. So I do know that lifestyle, but ever since, a year ago, I was able to be a full-time coach. I'm always in here. So there's no such thing as like not going to the gym. I'm in here Monday through Sunday, 9 to 9 every day, and Saturday 10 to 4 p.m. every day. So this is actually my home. I might as well just rent a room here because I'm never not here. And so, recently there's no burnout per se. It's just this is where I'm at. This is what I do. I love it here. So I'm happy I get to do this. For a long time I was injured and had surgeries and all that, so I wasn't able to be here as much as I am now. So I'm utilizing as much as I can now since I'm healthy and I can be here. So why not?
So it's definitely like your life, not big part of your life, but
Yeah,
just your life.
correct. Correct. Just a lifestyle for now. I mean, obviously life changes with cycles and maybe when I'm 40, I probably won't be here as much. But right now, from 16 years old to now, this is me.
And do you coach the like regular people, the guys
Mhm.
that train once or twice a week, or the more of the like amateur or pro fighters?
Great question. I actually train everybody. I train kickboxing classes here at Extreme. I train MMA classes, which is really where I have most of like the amateur or some of the pro fighters come in. I coach 6 days, twice a day, sometimes three times a day. So I get a mixture of everybody. I don't coach too many fighters because I don't have the time to be able to focus on somebody like that. So I try to do my best to stay away from somebody's career that needs maybe a coach that can be there full time and not just maybe an hour a day like me. So I try not to coach too many fighters, but hey, if anybody needs help, all the amateurs, I help out as much as I can with Coach Roman, Coach Dennis here with the pros, and yeah, so mostly normal people, especially because I am a personal coach, so I do get quite good money from coaching people personally. Obviously, most fighters are all broke, so we don't have the money to be able to afford coaches, and that's when coaches really come in and change our life. Like they did for me because I couldn't afford $80 to $150 an hour for a coach out here. So a lot of them invested in me, and that's eventually when I get to that position where I can invest back into other fighters, I will. But for now, I'm just kind of working my way up through that and coaching everybody who wants to be coached.
But probably coaching like normal people is also super cool when you see that they start
Mhm.
from like point zero to the people with some skills with the like big improvements. It's probably also like satisfying for you because it's
Yeah.
just your work.
Yeah, it's good to see. Not necessarily like besides like them getting good at what I'm showing them, just to see how much more confident they get in life, how much more comfortable they get with themselves, and just what mixed martial arts translates to outside of physical, like into life. You get more controlled. Hey, I'm more calm now, more patient because I know how to manage these emotions. And it's a therapy, man. MMA is a therapy. Being in the gym is therapeutic in any kind of gym, but especially in mixed martial arts, if you have that little anger in you, that little violence in you, this allows you kind of to relieve that. And it's always good to see somebody, get better at this art, but also get better as a human being because of the art. So that's something that, as I'm becoming more and more of a coach, it's awesome to see how it translates in and out as it did in my life. And I'm grateful to share that with other people to hope to do that in their life too.
And you will fight on Tough Enough. It's quite a big organization. This event actually is ever good. They got a really good main event. And the next fight after this, would it be also in this promotion?
Hopefully, then yes, I'm trying to stay with Tough Enough here in home in Vegas. I saw a lot of tickets, make quite a bit of money doing that here. If I go somewhere else, I don't get that opportunity, and I haven't been able to fight pro in Vegas for my well, besides the UFC fights. So it's nice to fight here at home, have the support of the people, of the fans, of my family, of my friends, of my students, of the gym, of all of Las Vegas because I grew up here. Um, and so hopefully the next after this win, of course, we're thinking about Tough Enough again. Hopefully get the title again. This will be my fifth Tough Enough title if I get it next. Four as an amateur and then one as a pro. And then for this one, obviously, hopefully after the third fight, which would be the not this one but the next fight, then we can start talking to the UFC again, which is what their requirements were for me after they let me go. Hey, go get three more wins, hopefully three finishes, and then we can talk again. And so that's kind of the plan. Beat this kid February 14th, beat somebody else March or April, and then back to the UFC, hopefully May, June, July, August, September, whatever.
And actually, I think that you have like quite a not really ordinary like career because you had a great
Yeah.
amateur career, then you were 4-0, went to the UFC. Right now you are on the regional scene, but in the UFC bouts you actually fought against really good guys. But when you are thinking about this from like time perspective, what do you think like missed? What were missing in this span of the time in these two fights?
Injuries, man. That's the problem between those two UFC fights. A lot of severe injuries to some of my limbs that I had to get surgery for in different places. I had two major injuries that kept me away for 18 months each time. So, well, I had one injury, had to wait a year and a half. Was able to fight. Had another injury, had to wait almost 2 years before I can even fight again. And that's kind of what the UFC put up to perspective, like, hey, you've only fought twice in 4 years almost. Like we don't want to put you up against somebody else to set you up for failure. They kind of let me go, do the Brandon Moreno route, let me go get some regional fights again, get my confidence back, get my mojo back. Fighting the number 10 in the world on a 10-hour notice, and then fighting 8-0 kid, who's an up and coming prospect right off the bat. It's very, very unheard of, at least for somebody in my position. I was only 4-0 as a pro, right off fighting. Their combined record was almost 30-1, and mine was only 4-0. To give you perspective of like all these other guys that are fighting these 6-10 guys and these 2-5 guys, like you guys are fighting bums. You know what I mean? I'm fighting the best of the best on my fifth amateur fight, on my fifth pro fight. My fifth pro fight, I'm fighting guys with records of 46-3. You know what I mean? And then so it's just perspective and time lost in the injuries, man, the surgeries, all that just kind of took a lot from me. And also trying to fight again, like it's difficult to fight here in Nevada because of my record, and not my record, but because of the people who I fought. We went my last fight. We had 6 different opponent changes in 2 weeks because the commission didn't want me to fight this guy or this guy or this guy's not that good or that guy's is barely there but not good, and like they want me to fight killers and that's it. Which I already did that, so it's time to let me fight regular people, or else there's no I might as well just go back to the UFC if I'm going to do that. I'm going to fight this guy who's 10-0 for 1,000 when I can go to the UFC and fight the same guy for 2020. So that's kind of like the little trouble we're running into even now. This fight's still up in there. We're waiting for the commissions to still kind of prove it. So, just kind of letting my stress out on that because it's kind of dumb that I'm only 5-2. It's not like I'm 21-0 or something like that, right? So, and this guy's 6-3. He technically has we have identical record, But because I've been in the UFC, they're making me fight tougher and tougher guys, which I understand. But my first UFC fight was against the number 10 in the world, who was 18-1 with 17 first round finishes. That's not my record. That's his record. So, a lot of the time was just lost in the surgeries and the injuries, and I'm just grateful to be back, man. Grateful to be back and healed and healthy, and I do my best when I fight a lot. In 2019, I went 4-0 in 9 months, so that's my game plan for this year is just to knock them out every 3 months as long as I'm healthy. God willing, we keep putting on a show for everybody.
And I think that of course, like Carpenter and Dvorak, they actually they were very good fighters. They of course right now are also very good fighters. But last fight in your before your going to the UFC was a win against Eric Shelton, who was a UFC veteran. And to be honest, I think that right now, like few years later, he's probably the best bantamweight outside of the UFC. Yeah. So I think that it also showed is showing how good you are. That you are that you were able to beat someone like this.
Yeah, for sure. I've been watching his career. He's a monster. I mean, I've been watching when I was in the UFC. Excuse me, when I was watching the Ultimate Fighter and kind of growing up watching these guys and now being able to fight with them. It's kind of an honor, and it does show my ability. Thankfully, that I did beat him, and now he's a weight class above, beating a lot of other guys. So. If you watch my fights, I lost in the UFC, but I wasn't per se dominated either. It was very back and forth until either I got caught or I made a mistake. Which that's just life. But I am skilled enough to be there, and I'll prove that again on February 14th, March, April, May, whatever, and I'll keep doing that until I get the belt that I know I'm gonna get, and I'm gonna earn it. I don't deserve anything, but I'm going to earn everything,
And do you have a flyweight from the UFC that you would like to fight?
All of them. Whoever gets me back in there, man. I don't really care. I fight all of them from 15, 14, 13, 12. If I have to go down the list, I will. And that's what I'm going to do. Just keep winning fights, keep putting people in front of me, keep destroying them, keep making a show for the fans because that's what I like to do and that's what I'm good at. And make money while I do it, because that's the goal at the end. Especially now in my career where I'm making more and more. Before it was for glory, all my 9 amateur fights, I didn't get paid a single dollar. It's illegal to pay amateurs here in Nevada. So, I did it for the passion and the love, and now the game is paying me back with passion and love too in its own form. And in this case, it's fine. It's money.
And actually, I think that flyweight division, even in the regional scene, is quite deep. There are a lot of fighters in their different promotion that their level is really high, and I think that they will be ranked in the UFC in 2 or 3 years. So I think
Yep.
that even this fight or fight after this, you probably will get some really good opponent, and because you will fight a good opponent, also probably your skill will go up because you need you know that you need to be like at 100%.
Right, right. Correct, correct. Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there, and I'm excited. There's still kind of talks of like getting rid of the UFC, the flyweights here and there. You can kind of hear it in the background, but as long as we keep performing and giving the fans a show, I don't think they're gonna take us away, and I'm gonna be able to add more to that, because that's what I am. I like to showboat, I like to show, I like the entertainment, and that's what people pay to go watch me entertain and beat somebody up in my underwear in front of everybody. So that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Yes, and getting rid out of the like flyweight division would be like a crime right now
Well,
because this is probably like bantamweight, flyweight. These are like the best divisions that UFC
yeah,
really has.
I like to agree, especially just technically, technically go watch a flyweight fight. It's very technical. It gives you all the aspects of the mixed martial arts. It's not like watching heavyweights where you'll just get boxing, some grappling, and then boom, somebody got knocked out. With flyweights, it's you get judo, grappling, wrestling, kickboxing, boxing, right back to judo, right back to grappling, right back to MMA, right back to samba. Like you get it all because we have to. We're small and compact and fast, so we have to be the most technical we can be. And I think Bantam and flyweights are very exciting to watch if you're an actual true fan of mixed martial arts and understand what you're watching. If you don't understand the grappling exchanges, it's not going to be as entertaining to you. But if you're a true fan and you see a flyweight or a bantamweight fight, you know exactly what we're doing with all the moves, and it's just exciting, with all the transitions and all the nonstop action that we have in our fights.
And even the last fight, Merab Dvalishvili against Umar, showed because it actually was like absolutely great fight. It was like a super high level skills, the best skills possible
Exactly.
to be honest. And I think that you can't be bored in this kind of fight.
Yeah. Correct, exactly. If you're watching, I mean, just the takedowns alone were exciting. Yeah, he didn't take him down, control him, and ground and pound it, but so what? He took him down. How many people would take Umar down, especially that many times? So it just goes to show you like the levels. Like I didn't think that was a boring fight at all. I actually thought it was a high level chess match, and if you see it that way, you're gonna enjoy the fights. It's usually the casuals that are like, oh, what a boring fight because nobody got knocked out or dropped. Yeah, but that means they're both that good of a level where you're not gonna get knocked out or dropped. So I like to see high level defense, which they both had. As a fighter and as a coach, it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all like to see knockouts, we all like to see submissions, but I like to see those hard fights that changes you internally a little bit like that. Like they both walked away different human beings after that fight. Better or worse, whatever it may be, those dog rounds like that, those fights that truly pull the gladiator out of you. I like to watch.
And you can like train with the best people, best fighters in the world. But do you have like one or two names that they are your favorite sparring partners?
Ooh, that are high level like UFC fighters or in general.
No, it can be UFC fighters or like just your favorite people in the room.
Yeah, I mean, I like to well, obviously like well, not for me sparring, but just watching Danny Gay. We have so much talent. I mean, you have Sean Strickland, we have Danny Gay, we have Misha Tate, we have Francis Ngannou here sometimes. We have Brand Battle, we have, I mean, the list is on and on. Carl Williams, we have Brad Tavares, we have man, I can't stop name dropping people, but just watching just sitting down and watching all of them fight and how they push each other because I've been here 15 years. I've been here almost 15 years. So I was been here since I was a teenager. So I grew up watching Brad Tavares in the cage and here in the gym. And obviously Dennis Davis, Eric Nixick, all of these coaches as well. So it's just always level. I'm always being leveled up by watching my bigger brothers work, right, and then just hearing how they talk and all high tides raise all ships. And so, as Chris Curtis, for example, is always great to watch sparring. He's always fun to flow with and watch spar. Obviously, we do spar a little bit, but obviously, he's playing around with me. And it's just always cool to see uh, how their mind works and how their combos come And I mean, I name drop more than two guys, but those are all the guys that I look up to, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to train around them and be in the same room with them and evolve with them. You know, even though I still don't have my opportunity to put on a show like they are at the moment, I know my time is gonna come, and when it does, it'll be normal for me.
And of course, you mentioned many people, but for me, like Brad Tavares, it's kind of legend because he's
Yeah,
in the UFC for 15 years. He of course maybe
15.
not be a champion, but the work that he's done for 15 years is kind of crazy.
Correct. Exactly. And things like that. And so just, you know, seeing all of his career was just it's beautiful to see and him as like a father now, you know, all these guys are having kids now all of a sudden. So it's awesome to see them grow up and growing up with them and the mindset that they bring to not only the sport but to me and people like me and around. And it's always great to be uplifted by them and I'm grateful to be here, grateful to have the opportunity to keep fighting and doing what I love, man.
And probably you are excited about Sean Strickland against DDP.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. That card's gonna be awesome because we also have Tatiana Suarez here training. So I mean, you know, their story is insane. How about they both started in the same gym 10 years ago and now they're back in the same gym, both fighting on the same night for a title. That story alone is awesome. It's almost like it was written, you know. So yeah, so people like that, you know, having champions around and it's funny because to me it's normal, right? Like I'm used to it now. It's like okay, it's Brett Tavares, Sean Strickland, what's up, dude? Whatever, right? But if I was somebody else, I would freak out like, oh shit, it's Sean Strickland, oh shit, it's Tatiana Story, oh shit, it's Brett, right? Just but since I'm seeing them twice, three times a day, every day, 5 days a week, it's not as amazing to me anymore, right? And I kind of forget that sometimes, like. There'll be people who come in and like, oh shit, look, that's Sean Strickland. Oh crap, that's so and so, or this and that and it's awesome to see the excitement of the people to see like you know we're fighters, you know, we're athletes, we're not necessarily role models, right? Like, but it's kind of good to see how the sport is giving us a platform to talk about whatever we want to talk about and giving people the platform and give us a voice to be able to be heard, at least in our sport, you know, as barbaric as it is, like Tavares says.
And for now, maybe not from the gym, but who is your favorite fighter to watch right now?
Right now, oh, that's a good question. Islam Makhachev. Well, there's so many, but right now, my top of my head is just Islam because he's just destroying everybody. So he's fun to watch, and he's doing it technically. You know, he's not brawling people. He's just destroying Moicano with a clean, you know, submission, and so he's exciting to watch right now, and obviously breaking records. Obviously, John Jones is exciting to watch, but you know, we don't know with him what's next. Yeah, yeah, those are all funny. Tapura, obviously, Tapura is a whole nother. All of them, dude. All the champions are exciting to watch at this moment, I think.
Yes, and the things that Islam did in like 1 or 2 last years, it's kind of crazy. And then the Moicano fight, it was a really quick one.
Right.
I think that the fight with Arman would be like much more competitive,
It
but
should be.
we probably will not know in like 1 year because probably
Yeah,
Arman will go down a little bit in the like rankings.
he will. He lost that shot. You know, you can't pull out the same day. You know, I don't know. I know the UFC doesn't. They don't. How do I put it? They take care of their own of themselves. You know, they're not. It's favor for a favor, I guess. You know, and if they give you an opportunity and you don't take it or get it, then they'll put you in the end of the line. That's why when I was offered a fight with a 24-hour notice, I said hell yes. You know, whether or not I was ready, I don't care. You don't get many UFC calls, and if you do, you say yes and smile and nod and go fight your ass off, no matter who it is.
And
Which is
right.
what Moicano did.
Yes, yes, he definitely should take this one because we just don't know if he would get like normal chance to get a
Right.
title.
That's hard. Yeah. I think Dana White was saying kind of no, give him another opportunity with other fighters, and then we'll see. They're kind of not happy with him right now, obviously, but that's just their boss, you know.
And right now, how quickly can you make a flyweight weight limit?
2 3 days. I'm pretty light. I stay pretty low. I stay pretty low. I cut about 15 pounds or so, sometimes 20, but I try not to cut too much because that's hard. It's annoying. Half the battle is cutting the weight. I'd rather not cut too much so I can focus on the fight rather than, I see some of these guys are mostly focused on cutting fucking weight. Out of the 6 weeks, five of them is cutting weight, you know. So I'm glad that I'm a natural flyweight, maybe a little bit smaller than I should be for a flyweight because some of these guys are walking around 25 pounds higher, 30 pounds higher. Um, but who cares? At the end of the day, it's a skill thing. Yeah, 10 pounds is a difference, but my skill level, evens it out for me.
So if you are like ready to make a weight in just few days, you are
Oh
ready
yeah.
to fight like every
Oh,
week,
hell yeah.
like you
Oh
are
yeah. Mhm.
available, let's say.
And I will. I'll fight every other month if I can. The weight is not a problem. I figured it out. I've had over 15 fights. I have it. I have it down now. I have it down. Obviously, when I worked with the UFC, the Performance Institute helped a lot to understand a little bit more about my body because they do so much scanning, so many tools and nutrition and nutritionists and a lot of resources that they have for sure, for you to not miss weight. So I learned a lot with them. So I'm grateful for that too.
So actually, there might be a bigger than small chance that we can see you in the UFC this year.
I think so. As long as I do what I'm supposed to do, which I will, and all the fights come up how they're supposed to, and I perform how I'm going to, then I will be. God willing, everything works out how it's supposed to. But I'm taking it one fight at a time. I'm just enjoying the process. When I was in the UFC, I took it too serious, too difficult. Didn't have too much fun. Was always kind of not wanting to come. In that aspect, just taking it too business minded rather than what it is, which is fun. Um, so I'm grateful that I have another opportunity. It's not like I lost all 4 fights in my contract. Unfortunately, due to injuries and surgeries and time off, they had to let me go for a little bit. But I know that I have the skills, the confidence, and the push and drive to get back to where I'm supposed to be, and it's back in the UFC, man. And so I'm gonna prove that not only to myself and to my countrymen in Colombia, and obviously everybody else here that has put a lot of time in me, invested time, money, blood, sweat, and tears, to be able to get to where I'm at now and to where I want to go, and that's back to the top.
And I think that with your style, there will be a lot of like fun matchups
Yeah.
that the UFC can match up you against few really good fighters. So I think
Mhm.
that you definitely you would be like able to get some money from the UFC bonuses.
Yeah, that's the game plan, man. I mean, a lot of my friends made a lot of money their first fights out. Justin James, Sham Smith, all of them made, over 80 grand, more or less, like their first fight, just because they got the bonus. $50,000 bonus is more than what you get paid in your first win anyway, for the most part. So, so thankfully with that, like I get sponsored outside of it too. And since I was in the UFC, I get a lot of companies and stuff that like to support me anyway. So, even though I'm not in it anymore, I still benefit from it. And so I was always, I'm grateful for being able to be in there. Whether or not I performed how I wanted to or whatever the result was, it did change my life, and I'm always going to be grateful for that. And I can't wait to get back in there and do it one more time.
And of course, like MMA is like a super big part of your life. But do you have some dreams outside of MMA? And if you have, can you share some of them?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, being a pilot was one of them. It was either be a pilot or be a fighter. And I can always be a pilot. You can't always be a fighter. I can be a 50-year-old pilot. I can't be a 50-year-old fighter. Excuse me. So that's one of them. Obviously, being able to make foundations for like cancer research and animal foundations to be able to help a lot of animals here. Like Vegas is full of dogs, stray dogs, and all the shelters are full, and they're killing dogs left and right. So little things like that little goals that I can start helping, the community and eventually take it worldwide. One of my sisters has cancer, so it's like a lot of different things that I want to be able to give back when I can. And so, when I talk about money all the time, it's not necessarily to change my life, but to help change others' life because I can't do it without money, right? No matter how good I may be as a person, the world runs on money. So My dream is to be able to help others, change others, and be a better person as I live through this life. And that's kind of it.
Okay, Juan Camilo. So thank you for the conversation.
My
I'm
man.
really excited about this fight, and I think that it will be good when you get a like maybe contender series shot, maybe some short notice opportunity, because I think that you have even that you have like unusual career in MMA. I think that in the end you should definitely should get like another chance in the UFC.
I think I will, man. I think that if they didn't want to do that, they would have just gave me a third fight, let it happen, and then see you later. We'll have somebody else. But I think Mick Maynard is really the one that I dealt with. We talked a little bit. He told me, I rather you go out, get more wins, come back, because it's a lot harder to come back if you lose again. So he was very honest, and I at the moment you kind of get mad, like I lost everything, but I was only 25. I'm 29 now, so I'm still young in the fight game. Again, I can do 2 fights in under 4 months and potentially get back in. So I see it more of like a life challenge to get back in, and just getting back in is not my end goal. That's just the beginning again. When I get back in, my goal is to get back to get to the title contention, and that the only way I can do that is by winning fights, and that's all I got to do is just keep winning fights, keep going up the rankings, fight whoever they put in my face, keep doubting, keep proving the doubters wrong, keep showing the UFC why I'm valuable and why I'm worth it, why I'm exciting, and why I'm entertaining, and everything should fall into place.
Yes, it's
And if it doesn't,
probably
oh well, I tried my best.
it's probably like chapters in the book that's right.
Yeah,
Sometimes you are down, sometimes you are happy. It's just the like book of life.
correct. It's a roller coaster. Life cycles up and down, up and down. The last 5 years, I've been very down, and life has changed. Thank to God, now I'm coming right back up, and just gotta ride the wave. Whether I'm up or down, you gotta be grateful. You gotta be happy that I'm alive and I'm healthy, and that I have people that are supporting me, and that's it.
Okay, so once again, thank you for the time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and make sure you guys like, follow, share my man's content here. And I hope to see you guys soon, February 14th, Tough Enough, live in the Sahara Hotel and Casino, guys, here in Las Vegas.